Mass murderers have been a part of history since forever. Even as far back as biblical times, this act of multiple simultaneous killings has been given different names in the hopes of characterizing it. It doesn't change the fact that a lot of people lose their lives, and it is a heinous act. Welcome back to the Crime Lab channel. In today's video, we'll be looking at the story of the Las Vegas shootings of 2017. Most people know Las Vegas for its bright lights, populated gambling halls, exciting atmosphere, and bubbling activities. However, in 2017, Las Vegas was known for more: the mass murder of about 60 people, all perpetrated by a 64-year-old man from Mesquite, Nevada. Stephen Paddock didn't exactly come from the best of beginnings, as his father, Benjamin Paddock, was barely around. Benjamin was a bank robber who got caught in 1960 when Stephen was 7 years old. He later escaped prison in 1969, later appearing on the FBI's most wanted list. According to one of Stephen's ex-wives in a police interview, he had spoken about how growing up with a single mother and the family's financial issues caused him to prioritize being self-sufficient. Stephen worked from around 1975 to the end of the 1980s, after which he began to run a real estate business with his brother Eric. Stephen lived in the greater Los Angeles area and owned various properties in Panorama City, Cerritos, and North Hollywood from the 1970s to the early 2000s. Relatives said Stephen was worth at least $2 million when he sold off the real estate business. He also has many other profitable investments, one of which was an apartment complex purchased in 2004, where he earned more than $500,000 annually by 2011. IRS records showed that he made $5 to $6 million in profits from its sale in 2015. While Stephen's finances looked very good, he had a downside: gambling. He was a passionate gambler, and although his earnings were unclear, they might have been significant. He was sometimes seen in high-limit rooms, but he was not well known among high-stakes gamblers in Las Vegas and was not considered a whale or high roller by the casinos. His game of choice was video poker, which he had played for over 25 years. He usually gambled after dark and slept during the day. He disliked being in the sun. During the months before the shooting, Stephen reportedly often smelled of alcohol in the early morning and appeared dejected. He was reported to have filled prescriptions for the anti-anxiety medication Valium in 2013 and in 2016, and finally again in June 2017. During an interview with the local CBS affiliate Class TV, Clark County Sheriff Joe Lombardo said Stephen had reportedly been losing a significant amount of wealth since September 2015, which led to him having bouts of depression. According to his girlfriend, she noticed a decline of affection and closeness towards her from Stephen, who had been romantic at the beginning of their relationship. He credited it to his declining health. Stephen was conversant in gun laws and in defending his view of the Second Amendment. His gun purchases increased significantly between October 2016 and September 28, 2017. He bought over 55 firearms, most of which were rifles. He also bought some firearm-related accessories. Before that, he purchased around 29 firearms between 1982 and September 2016, mostly handguns and shotguns. His girlfriend noticed the surge of firearm-related purchases, but believed his interest in guns was just a hobby. 2 weeks before the attack, he suggested that his girlfriend goes to her native country, the Philippines. Stephen bought her a surprise airline ticket and sent her $100,000 to buy a house there soon after. Most of their communication during this period was mainly through email and text messages. He was spotted in Las Vegas with another woman, suspected to be a sex worker. According to his girlfriend, Stephen frequently cased out Las Vegas Village from different windows in their room when they stayed at the Mandalay Bay a month before the shooting. He also may have considered attacking previous events. He had researched large-scale venues in cities such as Boston since at least May 2017 and had reserved a room overlooking the August 2017 Lollapalooza festival in Chicago, but did not use it. From September 17, Stephen stayed at the Ogden in downtown Las Vegas, which overlooked the open-air Life is Beautiful festival that ran from September 22nd to 24th. His internet search terms from mid-September included SWAT weapons, ballistics charts 308, SWAT Las Vegas, and do police use explosives. He arrived at Mandalay Bay on September 25, 2017, and booked room 32 to 135. 4 days later, he also checked into the directly connected room 32 to 134. Both suites overlooked the site of the concert at Las Vegas Village. During his stay at Mandalay Bay, Stephen spent much of his time gambling, usually at night. Cell phone records show that he also made multiple visits to his home in Mesquite. With help from hotel bellmen, he bought 5 suitcases to his room on September 25th, 7 on the 27th, 2 on the 28th, 6 on the 30th, and 2 on October 1st. His arsenal of weapons, associated equipment, and ammunition included 14 AR-15 rifles, 8 AR-10 type rifles, a bolt-action rifle, and a revolver. On September 30th, he placed Do Not Disturb signs on the doors of both rooms. The mass shooting occurred between 10:05 p.m. and 10:15 p.m. on October 1st, 2017, the third and final night of the festival. Before 10 p.m., hotel security guard Jesus Campos was sent to the 32nd floor to investigate an open-door alert. He attempted to open a door that provided immediate access to the floor, but found that it would not open. He later discovered an L-shaped bracket screwed into the door and door frame, responsible for barring the door from opening. After reporting the discovery to his dispatch center, he heard what he thought was the sound of rapid drilling coming from room 32 to 135 and went to investigate the matter. At around 10:05 p.m., he was hit in the right thigh by one of about 35 bullets that Stephen fired through his suite's door.
At that time, I heard what I assumed it was drilling sounds, and I believed that they were in the area working somehow.
He took cover in the cubicle between rooms 32 to 122 and 32 to 124, and immediately informed the hotel by radio and cell phone that he had been shot. Stephen used a hammer to break 2 of the windows in both of his suites and began shooting through them at 10:05 p.m. He fired over 1,000 rifle rounds and approximately 490 yards into the festival audience. Many people in the crowd initially mistook the gunfire for fireworks. The gunfire went on for over 10 minutes, with some momentary pauses, and ended by 10:15 p.m. In addition to shooting at the concert goers, Stephen fired 8 bullets at a large jet fuel tank at McCarran International Airport, 2,000 feet away. 2 of those bullets hit the tank's exterior, with 1 bullet penetrating the tank. The fuel did not explode because it was mostly kerosene, which is unlikely to ignite when a bullet hits. During the shooting, police officers were confused about where the shots were coming from. They eventually spotted multiple flashes of gunfire from the middle of the northern side of Mandalay Bay and responded to the hotel.
Right here. You see those flashes?
When officers arrived on the 32nd floor at 10:17 p.m. and encountered the injured security guard a minute later, he directed them to Stephen's room and helped others evacuate. Between 10:26 p.m. and 10:30 p.m., 8 additional officers arrived on the 32nd floor. The gunfire had stopped, and the police moved down the hallway, searching and clearing each room using a master key that Campos provided. At 10:55 p.m., the officers finished evacuating guests. At 11:20 p.m., police breached room 32135 with explosives and found Stephen dead on the floor from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. As of October 2020, there were 60 confirmed deaths, not including that of Stephen. The immediate number of deceased comprised 58 victims, 36 women and 22 men. All died from gunshot wounds. 31 of the victims were declared dead at the scene, while 27 died at the hospital, with the last of those dying on October 3rd, 2 days later. About 867 people were injured, at least 413 of them from gunshot wounds or shrapnel injuries. A 57-year-old woman from California who had been paralyzed in the shooting died more than 2 years later on November 15, 2019, and her death was attributed to the shooting. The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, LVMPD, declined to include her in the official death toll, as well as a 49-year-old Nevada woman who died from complications of a leg wound on May 26, 2020. This was revised, and on October 1, 2020, both women were included in the count. While the incident became known as the deadliest mass shooting committed by an individual in United States history, it also led to some good deeds. On the morning after the shooting, lines to donate blood in Las Vegas stretched for blocks. In Las Vegas alone, 800 units of blood were donated to the local blood bank in the days following the shooting. The American Red Cross also reported a 53% increase in blood donation in the 2 days following the shooting. Millions of dollars have been raised to help victims and their families. Thank you for watching this video. Hit us up in the comments section and give us a thumbs up if you liked the video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos.